Well, hello.
Hello, Popstar. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too
That's
bad.
cool. So,
Yeah.
yeah, we're looking at we're back to Foundation,
Yeah.
um,
Season 2, episode
season
4 and
two,
5.
4 and 5 because we missed one last week.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to do both.
Yeah. So, Sareth was trying to find out who killed her family, and we still don't know who that is until a bit
The
later.
Queen woman,
Yeah, the
yeah,
Sareth, yeah. Um, and uh, and then Rue and Dusk, they're quite flirtatious, yeah, because they had sex ages ago, and she was a beautiful
yeah.
concubine and stuff. And
Erased her memory, didn't he? Yeah,
yeah, they erased his memory, and then we sort of go into the vault with Selden. So they've got Hober Mallow now, and they went back to the Foundation, if you like, and they went back into the vault, and it's a
yeah,
four-dimensional structure in three-dimensional space. He had a shit
yeah.
in there. Don't know if that's important. Um,
Nah,
no.
I think that was just
Anyway,
like comedy. Yeah,
yeah. And there's a time differential, which is 1 minute out and 1 hour in, which I thought was a bit weird because if you're going to like set up a vault and you're going to be looking over the centuries to make sure your plan was going to, be good, then you would have it the other way, wouldn't you? You'd have an hour in and a minute out.
I don't know. I'm not sure because I'm. Yeah, I mean it's weird because you're not quite sure if when he's in there, can he see outside?
Well, he
Does he know
seems
what's
to
going
because
on
he said
outside?
Hober Mallow was he'd heard about this guy's name, and that's why he brought him into they asked him for the vault
Yeah,
sort of thing.
it didn't make a lot of sense because he didn't seem to know what was going on Terminus or anything. Like, oh, you've entered the
Yeah, right.
religious phase. He didn't seem to know.
Yeah, that's a
So I
bit.
don't. Yeah, it's good. Don't know what he wants with Hober Mallow. He sent him off
No,
on a mission, but we don't know what it is. He
no.
sent Polly and the other woman off to
Yeah,
Trantor
to prevent a
for
war.
to
And
prevent war.
Belrius was on Savannah or Savannah,
Oh yeah,
and they had a bit of a fight. Looked pretty impressive, sort of black ops, special forces, sort of fighting. Managed to kill quite a few people, and he went to some old
mm.
geezer's house who was a vinter, and
Right. Yeah, he was like an informant or something to see.
yeah, he'd been sending
So
these missives to the imperial place, and for years and years, and then finally he got a touch from the emperor and sent these two lads out there, and he said, well, yeah, I think the only sort of important thing about this episode really was, well, there was quite a few things. He told the emperor really that these people have got auras now, and then they've got space
mm.
folding technology, and they don't need spaces to do it, and it might be an organic ship.
Yeah,
So that's quite interesting. And the ships might have their own mind, which reminded me of oh Christ, Banks, Ian M. Banks. Sorry, I had to look.
yeah,
Yeah, because he had those mine ships and that. I'm not
yeah.
sure if he got it from there or whatever, but so organic computing ships, that sounds really good. Um, what I quite liked about it, so they had a chat with this guy who was the informant, and he said, yeah, they've got auras, they've got, time folding ships, and so they've given that information. And they had this extraction case, which warped them back up to their ship,
Yeah.
which I thought was quite interesting.
Yeah.
Um, I know they were talking in the vault about the two different Harrys. It wasn't very long. They just basically put in that as a superposition of both of the Harrys. They've got Harry within the vaults on Terminus, and they've got another Harry which is totally separate with Gale and Salvor. So I thought, wow, it,
So I
it
don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's not clear to me if they know about each other. Like I just don't really understand.
well, the Harry with Salvor said that he knew about the other one, but the other one
Oh
doesn't
no, he
seem
did.
to.
Yeah,
Yeah, he doesn't
yeah,
seem
and I don't
to.
know, and they don't seem to like know what each other's up to
No,
really.
no, they don't
And
seem to. They seem to be different characters at this point. And what Harry in the Vault wanted was to prevent a war with the Empire, and he sends Polly off and that lady to Trantor to try and sort of negotiate a peace deal or something, some kind of
yeah,
allegiance. And he sent off Hope and Mallow in the opposite direction. Seems like he wanted him to do something else. It wasn't particularly clear,
yeah.
but
No,
but
he
he
didn't
said it.
say.
He said it was in opposition with what they were doing. So yeah,
Yeah, it
um,
didn't. It sort of didn't make a lot of. Didn't really tell us a lot that episode, and obviously there was no Empire in that at all.
no,
Sorry, no, there was no Brother Day anyway.
no,
So we saw a bit of Brother Dusk, and we saw the Queen woman, the Sareth, did you say?
mhm,
Um, Chatting with Brother Dawn. She was kind of flirting with him,
yeah,
saying, you know, maybe I should have been married off to you, sort of thing. So you can try to sowing seeds of discord between
yeah.
the
Both of
various
them, Rue
aspects of
and
empire.
Sareth, who are part of the Dominion, they seem to
Yeah,
be quite on point with political sort of manipulations.
yeah. But
Emotional
I just,
manipulations.
I suppose I find it's you kind of think they wouldn't really fall for that, but they do seem like different people. Like they seem a bit ineffectual. This lot,
Yeah,
they're a bit more childlike, and a bit more clueless. You know,
yeah, a bit more
and I
gullible.
think,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean we see that a bit more in the fifth episode.
yeah,
Where we see Brother Day as like, he's trying to go to bed with that Queen woman, and he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He's just like a bit
no,
of an idiot.
yeah,
And you know, so it's kind of strange. Like it's in the first season, in that first era,
yeah. He
if you
should have.
like.
I
They're
mean, like
just
he's been with
they're,
like probably 1,000 concubines. You think he'd know what he's doing?
yeah, but he's been banging Demerzel all the time, isn't he? So it's
Yeah,
this incarnation of Empire. So it's kind of weird seeing them. Like, I mean, I don't think he's as interesting. I prefer the ruthless maniac.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's kind of a bit just. They're all just seem a bit like idiotic, and
Well,
um,
well,
Dawn, Dawn and Dusk are sort of.
to go back to sort of episode 4, Polly
Mm,
asks, because I wanted to know why Harry killed Jaeger, who is the guardian of, and he said, "Oh, you've got to have some wrath as a god," and also he
yeah,
looked like he was going to turn into some kind of egomaniac sort of thing. So that was covered. And then Sareth sort of recruits Markley, who's an Empire soldier, to find out about who killed her
yeah,
family. And she wants the video of the episode when Day was well, the attempt of the assassination of Day. And at the end of the episode, I thought, well, they're going to find out that Demerzel's a robot, and also they've been having sex and stuff. So, yeah, so that was kind of like the end of episode 4. Then episode 5, the Sidon scene. It's a flashback with Raish, and because
Yeah,
Harry has got a new body now, and he had a
yeah,
nightmare with Raish, and it was nice to see Raish again. He was a good actor, I thought, and it was how Harry had asked him to kill him, and Raish was like, "I love you, but you know what I mean, but I don't want to." Sort of, and it was a horrible sort of situation. Anyway, he kills him, and but he's having these real dreams now that he's in a body, which is odd. Um, it seems to have all
he
his
has a body,
memories.
doesn't he?
Yeah, and there's
Yeah,
what I got from it. There was two Seldons, and the other Seldons, and they go to Ignis, which is sort of where they crash because there's like ionic particles or something. So, and then sort of Salvo goes out there because she's a ranger, and she meets Hugo, and I thought that can't be
yeah.
Hugo.
No, it's weird because I saw that, and it's weird because when she said "take your hood off," he had on these goggles, which I thought were exactly like the mule from the previous episodes. I thought,
Oh, I
oh,
didn't notice
is this
that.
is this the mule guy? But then it turned out to be Hugo. It
Yeah,
turned out
yeah,
not to be Hugo, which was a shame because I like Hugo.
yeah. I liked him as
Um,
well.
um, but
Mm.
yeah, Harry didn't buy it that it was actually him, and he was right. You know,
Yeah, yeah. He was. So on Trantor, Sareth, she wants the recordings in the bedchamber, but the guy says no, we can't do that. And Sarah says that she needs to spy for herself. They said that. So from this, Sarah's obviously said today that I want to have sex now.
Mm.
And Day gets quite an interesting pep talk from Demerzel about sex.
Yeah,
Yeah. And she's like, you
yeah,
can
it's
do
quite
it.
funny.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
goes, "Look at
Yeah,
me."
get in there, lad. Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of really weird as well that she was changed because that's not her personality really to say, "Yeah, good luck."
Yeah,
It's weird,
right.
you know?
Yeah.
It's like all the characters seem to have sort of changed apart from Gale and Salvor.
Yeah, that's true.
Um,
And maybe Harry.
so
Yeah.
and Harry, yeah, who's sort of in this weird flux
Well,
thing,
he's
you
a
know?
bit of an enigma
We
anyway, isn't he?
Yeah,
Um,
but, like, we don't know why he got given a body, we don't know what he's supposed to do with it. We still don't know any of that shit,
yeah, I
really, you
don't
know? And
see the benefit of having a human biological body, you know.
yeah,
Uh,
I've no idea, to be honest, at this point where we're sort of going. So, I mean, I kind of didn't really buy her getting that soldier to spy for her because like that guy would be
yeah,
killed. So, I mean, I would think at the moment my theory is that probably Demerzel knows all this is happening,
yeah.
or and like they're watching them because they just seem to be meeting in the fucking woods. I can't, in the palace.
Well,
I
they
just
have
can't
those
see them
shadow
not
people,
having it.
don't they, who are invisible that watch people all the time.
Yeah.
So I
So
don't.
I cannot see how they would just be able to wander off and talk on their own.
Yeah,
So, so again, I think Demerzel's right at the center of all of it.
yeah.
Um, you know,
I think
and
so
that's
too.
cool. But yeah, I thought it was odd, like her personality. But then, I suppose because he's different, because Day is different from
Yeah.
his previous one, she's kind of acting a little bit more kind of childish towards him, like her, because her personality's become sort of rather sort of informal and stuff, whereas she's normally very, very formal and quite
Mm.
emotionless. Whereas now she's
Well, I
sort of
suppose
like,
they are
yeah,
having
come
sex,
on.
aren't they? So, that's-
Yeah, but maybe she's just adjusted her personality to,
well, she can
to
do that.
fit
I
to
mean, she's
his.
11,000 years old. She's
Yeah,
probably got,
but it's still kind of,
any kind of personality she can like promote. So
yeah. We're
Yeah.
still not sure what she wants, whether it's to re-establish empire or to destroy empire.
Yeah, they've
But
kind of
is she going to
diminished a
make?
little bit, haven't they, since the first
Yeah,
season?
exactly. They have. So ever since, so there's the genetic alteration,
Yeah.
the genetic rift, which happened in the
And they've
previous
drawn
series. They
back from
found
the
out.
outer reaches as well, so they've become
Yeah,
less of an empire.
uh, they've become. Yeah, I mean, they've become a bit more clueless and not sure what's going on. Like
Yeah.
things are being kept from them. They're having their. Turns out they're having their fucking minds wiped, and
Yeah.
they're being.
Yeah, that's a big
And
part of episode 5, yeah.
yeah, so they go and see the kind of ghost, sort of AI construct ghost of the original Cleon, and
Yeah.
he's no fucking help at all,
No.
really.
No,
Like he's just being
he's
very,
shit,
yeah,
yeah.
he's being proper cryptic. So they're basically banding up against, in a way, there's a faction, get them
Well,
against
I
Day.
think it was down to Rue, wasn't it? Because um, Rue and Dusk have this relationship from previous where she was a concubine and obviously he was the emperor and he had sex with her when she was Day, when he was Day, and they wiped her memory, but he obviously feels very fondly about it. And also the sentimentality as well,
Yeah,
which wasn't part of them either. So maybe that's
oh,
crept in through the genetic difference. And
yeah. So they're becoming more like he's becoming more like a regular old fart.
yeah,
And Brother Dawn is a bit more like a clueless young man,
yeah, yeah,
whereas
yeah.
they kind of weren't like that before. They were
No,
all literally together all the time, and they were very similar in personality.
yeah. And,
But
and now
now
they've
they're all
kind of
sort of,
like moved away from each other. And
yeah,
part of the, I mean, like Rue and Sareth were doing a quite a good job of fucking everything up for them. Sareth's
yeah,
trying to get hold of some information. Um, she couldn't get the guy to do it, Markley. And then um, the girl and Dusk get together and they have, they watch their old videos of having sex together. So that's all very intimate. And he tells her about the memoriam. And then also Dusk as well. I mean, apart from giving the information to Rue, through this that all her memories are kept in a memoriam. He then realised that Rue didn't know that she had memories removed. She knew they'd been removed, but she didn't miss it. So he thought, well, maybe I
yeah,
wouldn't miss my memories being
yeah.
removed either. And then I went to the library guy. Um, so
He was
Dusk and
Vizimir, wasn't he? He was
yeah,
Vizimir in The Witcher.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
yeah,
Dusk and Dawn went in there and said we want all of the records going back as far back as Cleon the First, and they realised that although Dusk and Dawn have had about sort of on average about the same memories over the years, that the first Cleon the First had like probably like double almost the
yeah,
memories. So they're kind of like very suspicious. Also, they found out that their brother Day had been, fucking about with their memories that they didn't know about, and that's never happened before. So, and
yeah,
also he wants to get married, and they're now defunct and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, it's ramping up,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, exactly. But we still don't really know. So it may very well be that they've been replaced against their knowledge. Maybe
Yeah, they don't
something
know.
happened.
They would
Something
have no
happened,
way
and
of knowing.
yeah, had the memories erased and then maybe replaced,
Mm.
which is why they don't have the full complement of memories or something. I don't know. It didn't. We still don't really know. It's like, I, I mean, I would have thought that Day would be watching them like a hawk, so
Mm.
he would know that they've gone down to this, but he doesn't seem bothered because he's just he seems very much like a teenage boy in this one. I prefer the old one, but I mean, I presume that's for a purpose
Yeah.
to show how he's just sort of he's taking his eye off the ball. But yeah, I honestly think that Demerzel knows what that Sareth is up to.
She may have even
It's got to be
engineered the
what.
whole thing. The fact that their
Yeah,
genetic, difference is now
yeah.
apparent. She may have engineered that. She may have engineered this.
She's programmed to not harm Empire,
Yeah,
but there's nothing to stop someone else doing it if she sets them along that path, sort of thing.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
that's what I think. That's what I think's going on. Um, so but like, I wish we would get to that a little bit because we're like 5 episodes in. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
there's only another
I'd
five.
like to know what her
I don't know.
motivation is. I'd like to know why she's
Yeah,
doing it.
might just be massive revenge. It might just be
Mm,
fucking like she's just sick of being abused, like they're fucking her, and she's getting her head chopped in half, and you know what I mean. She's just a slave,
yeah,
effectively. Nothing to do.
got
Nothing
nothing
to
for
do. So maybe
herself.
it's just pure fucking madness. Maybe she's gone fucking mad,
Yeah,
or there's something else. Like she doesn't seem. There doesn't seem to be anyone she could be in cahoots with.
no.
That's not like she's in cahoots with someone
Well,
else.
she's
So
like a chess master moving parts around, isn't she? That's what I
yeah,
feel about Demerzel. I feel like she's been around for, 11,000 years plus,
yeah,
and she's seen it all, done it all, knows these
and
people
yeah, because
inside out.
she has all the memories
Yeah,
of stuff that they've forgotten or have been erased as well. So like,
yeah, she's got it all.
might be in it.
Yeah.
So I mean, she could easily replace them all. If she makes them all seem ineffectual and gets them like a coup or something, she would just take over. But then I don't know what her motivation for that would be, apart from to just destroy everything for fun.
Well, the easiest way to get rid of an empire is to go within, isn't it? To get
Yeah,
someone within, like a traitor within
yeah,
so like if you've got a castle and it's under siege, the only way you're going to get in there is if someone within that castle lets you in.
yeah.
And
So
she's
yeah,
pitting them against each other. That's what I think.
yeah,
um
absolutely. It's got to be. There's no way she could because otherwise, who else is doing it?
yeah,
Like, do you know what I mean? I mean, I'm not sure where all this mule shit fits in. But I mean,
no,
um, I think like because when they're on Ignis, they get they figure out it's not Hugo,
mm,
and there's a bunch of weirdos. Turns out there are a bunch of telepaths or something living in
yeah,
this fucking commune or something like that. Didn't make a lot of fucking sense. Don't know what they
yeah, the
want.
Mentallics that I kind of mentioned in a
Yeah,
couple of it. Yeah, so
yeah.
they're all
So that's
telepaths.
obviously
Yeah,
which is obviously where what the mule was that we saw from the guy from the future. So they were obviously meant to be there, but who's this mule guy? Who knows?
mm,
So yeah, I didn't. That they didn't really explain why they were there, why they were calling to them, because it was Salvor and Gale had heard a voice, didn't they? And that's why they went to Ignis.
yeah.
Salvor pulled it from her head. So no idea what they want or what they're
Well, they
capable of
haven't
or how many of
behaved
them
in
there
a
are.
way that's trustworthy. I mean, they put on a face of Hugo to rope Salva in, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then they kind of like kidnap them, sort of. Um,
No, they seem a bit holier than
you
thou to
can't.
me, a bit.
They're reading their minds. It's all very invasive and
Yeah, and
abusive,
pretending to be
really.
looking like some peaceful sort of hippie commune sort of thing. But like,
Yeah,
what are they doing fucking about? But then she says at the end, there won't be a second foundation.
yeah. They want to
So
break the
so
prime radiant. Yeah.
so yeah. So Ignis is the site of the supposed to be the site of the second foundation, but it never happened. I
Mhm.
think. Is that right? I think that's the case. But like, so I
Yeah.
don't know if Harry's trying to start a second foundation and they know about it. But how do they know about it? So
And
this.
how these sensors didn't pick up the life forms. So I'm thinking on the
Yeah,
ship, you know, uh, if they're that powerful that they can stop you from seeing sensors on from space from a planet,
yeah.
to
So
stop you
yeah,
seeing that.
there's a few gaps, and I don't know what's happening really.
Yeah, I
It's a bit
find
of a
the
shame.
whole
I
sort of
think,
telepath thing quite invasive, and like it's a violation of people's, um,
yeah. So
their own
perhaps they're going to, yeah,
privacy.
they're
So,
probably going to turn into a bunch of evil people, maybe, who think they're doing good,
well, they've
like
got
everyone
far
in the
too much
world.
power. I mean, if you can read
Yeah,
people's minds, or if you can, and they might. I mean, they could just be telepathic, as in they can read minds, or they could be able to influence people by putting memories or putting thoughts in people's heads, which is,
yeah,
an incredibly powerful
yeah. And that
thing.
maybe that's the link between them and Empire, is that they can put visions and stuff into people's heads, and Empire having
Yeah,
stuff taken out of theirs. So maybe there's something to do with that. I
I
don't
don't
know.
like
I
him.
don't know. No, I didn't like them either. I thought it was very smug and sort of like, do you know what I mean? And to like to receive them in that way, where they had to do like the sort of, like who
Yeah,
fucking
I
does
wouldn't
that?
like it if someone used my dead boyfriend to sort of coax me in. I'd be
Yeah,
well pissed off at that. I mean, that's a violation. That is, you
yeah.
know.
So, I mean, there was some. It's good to see, Gail and Salvor again. It was kind of cool, and like, she had a bit of a chat with Harry. Gail and Harry still not getting on, but he
Yeah.
was like, she's because she's Rachel's daughter, she's my granddaughter, sort of thing. Because Gail was like, well, you don't give a shit about anyone,
Mm,
and he's sort of like, well, I kind of do and I don't, sort of thing.
mm.
Yeah, so it's kind of, I still like their sort of
Yeah,
relationship.
I
It's
I
proper
think they're
like
all
at
really good in
loggerheads, but
it. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I watched, season episode 4 last week, but I watched it again today with 5, back to back sort of thing, and I really liked it. It's a
yeah,
really good space opera, you know? You
it's
know,
good.
that
I mean, I preferred episode 5
mm,
only because I find this sort of cleric stuff a bit boring. Like
yeah,
ever since that introduced, I was just like, really, it just seems a bit. I don't know. It just seems a bit backward. But then again, I presume that's the point, because you're
yeah,
seeing a whole civilization sort of digress. Is digress the right word?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Regress.
Regress.
So like now everyone believes in magic, whereas
Yeah.
you're talking about a technologically advanced civilization. The emperors are now not so ruthless. I mean, he's just
Mm,
like a kid. They not bothered. The others are sort of a bit, you know, acting sort of their age in a way.
mm,
Like he's getting a bit doddery, and he's like, I can't remember shit.
mm.
Um, you know, it,
But it's ramping
Demerzel's
up sort of
acting
like
weird.
sort of politically, it's sort of with Trantor and the emperors. So now we've got Dusk and Dawn sort of working together. A bit annoyed that they're having their memories wiped and they don't know why.
Yeah.
And obviously it's Days doing it sort of thing. So now that's a big problem. That's a big
So I mean,
problem.
yeah, they could say, well, look, Demerzel will know because her
Mhm.
memory is unalterable. She said a couple of times
Yeah, yeah,
in this
that's true.
series, made comments about my, my memories are unalterable, or they're non, they're I can't remember what the word is. They're like dislocated. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
In like a cloud or something. She made a point of pushing that issue, so
yeah,
they could go to her and say, "We need you to fill in the blanks in our memories,"
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
she could just tell them a load of shit.
yeah.
Like, and just totally
I
destabilize
wonder if they
everything
could
and say, "Oh,
download her memory.
I don't know. Probably. I mean, I don't think they would be able to, because
Could be a
I
few gigabytes
think
in
she
there.
holds all. Yeah, and she could probably say, if you do, I won't
Yeah,
help you. Yeah, like so. I think she's holding all the cards. I just don't know
yeah.
what she wants them for.
No, me
Um,
either.
I
I don't
kind
know
of,
what.
yeah.
But like you said, they did mention sort of in season 1 that her kind, the the androids were sort of decimated by
Yeah,
the Emperor. So it could be something like that. It could be the fact of being online for 11,000 years makes you insane.
yeah.
It
And
could
they
be
kind of,
anything.
yeah,
Yeah.
'cause they outlawed outlawed artificial intelligence, didn't they, or something like that? Same as
It's
June. They did the same in June, didn't they? Yeah.
it's too
Um,
powerful, yeah. Well, they do it in a
so,
lot of
but
sci-fi things like Mass Effect.
yeah,
Um,
but it may
they
be
even had a
like,
problem with data in Star Trek,
yeah,
you know.
yeah, it's true. But it may be like there may be a connection with that and the fact they've got ships that think, because
Mm.
like how did that get developed? I mean, there was another thing actually where like Salvor and Gale were like done a bit of research and they're like, we've seen evidence of the Foundation all over this sector. They've got planets that they're
Yeah, yeah.
colonizing and stuff. And I was like, but how, if you know that from your little ship, how come the Empire doesn't seem to know what the fuck's been happening for the last 100 years? Because they seem clueless. They thought they were destroyed. So that didn't kind of
Yeah.
add up to me.
Yeah.
Like why, like the Empire seriously don't know what's going on out there. It sounds
Yeah,
kind
because
of
they're like they're
like,
presented as an Iron Fist in season one, weren't they?
yeah.
You know, like
And they knew
a completely
everything. Yeah,
dictator. You
exactly.
know, like that Spanish dictator guy who was in for ages. Can't remember his name now. But anyway, yeah, Marcos or something. Um, but you know, he was mates with Hitler and stuff like that. But he was in power for like decades in Spain. You know, sort of dictator. You know, Iron Fist sort of thing. And now they're kind of like, oh, we've just let it go. Yeah, and then we've built some
Yeah.
rings around Trantor to make a point. You know,
But I
like a
suppose, I mean, yeah, I think Harry sort of, he's predicted this is going to happen,
hmm,
like, but does he want it to happen? Does he, has he helped, how is he helping it along?
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I mean, I just sort of don't know. I don't know whose motivation. I mean, obviously they're fucking evil, but like it's still a civilization where if there isn't one, they're all going to be fucking living in mud
Yeah,
huts and shit. So, so it's like I don't know. This season has sort of muddied all the waters of what people's
yeah,
motivations are.
yeah,
Probably deliberately. At least I hope it's deliberately, and then we're going to get some sort of resolution. I hope they're not just winging
yeah.
it. Because, like I say, I find this cleric stuff a bit boring. I didn't.
Well, I think that's done
I think
now.
Hober Mallow. Yeah, Hober Mallow is a bit boring. I didn't understand the young girl saying we should have sex or something. And he's like, eh, like,
Yeah,
and it just doesn't
that
happen.
seems
That didn't make any
absurd.
sense. Yeah,
Yeah,
it just didn't make any sense. She was just like following him around like that. Like, back off, woman. But
yeah,
yeah, it just didn't sort of make any sense. I think it's yeah, I don't know. I didn't
yeah.
sort of like all
It's
that.
not as good as season one. Like you say, the parameters have changed. So yeah, I'm hoping it's going to get there. This episode was better. The last three have been
Yeah,
kind of like iffy, you know. Sort of. I mean, they've got to fill stuff in. They've got to fill stuff in with
yeah,
Rios um and Hober Mallow. Like he gets on my nerves a little bit. He's a bit too cheeky,
yeah,
cockney for me. But
yeah. As soon as you put like humor into these things,
mm,
I mean, he's like as if he was around now. Just like you say, a bit of a wheeler dealer sort of thing. It's
or at
just a
least he
bit.
thinks he is. Yeah,
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 it's just a bit naff,
yeah.
and
It's a bit naff. Yeah,
unless they're gonna, it's a bit naff, like to make funny things. Whereas the first series was sort of hard sci-fi. People don't sort of piss around.
no.
It's like
Yeah, I
what
like the hard
Gal.
sci-fi. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. So it's a bit, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't
We'll
know. I'm
get
still
there.
enjoying it. It's still really
Yeah,
good.
yeah. I mean,
But
it's
like,
still.
but yeah, we need. But they keep introducing new things. Like they introduced the mule and stuff. We're like,
Mm,
who are they? And now they've got the telepath people. Who are they? It's like it's
mm,
getting a bit hard to follow.
yeah.
I just want to know. I mean, episode 5 was notable in that. Sorry, episode 4, one previous to this one, in that Brother Day wasn't in it at all. Like you
No.
just didn't feature in
Yeah.
that episode once, and I kind of missed it because
Mm.
I like him. I just like him as an actor. I
Uh,
like his
He's
character.
great.
But then
Yeah.
yeah, but then you see it
I quite
in
like
this
Dusk
episode,
as
and he's
well.
just
Dusk
like,
has got a lot of weight
yeah,
as well. Yeah.
yeah.
And
We see
obviously
some of him,
Harris as well has got a lot of weight. So
but
I
yeah,
really enjoy when they turn up. I really like Salva. I think she's fantastic. I really like Salva. Um, but yeah, I think Day's probably the standout of all of them. Um,
Yeah,
especially when
it's a
in
shame that
season
he's.
one that he was just such an arsehole. He was such a such a Hitler, that whole, and then like 3 planets are now
Yeah,
destroyed. It's just, yeah. So I kind of miss that about him because he just seems, like you say, he does seem a bit, you know, malleable.
dumb. Yeah, he just seems a bit dumb and like more like a playboy, sort of. Oh, I'm just going to get married, like
Yeah,
just do what
I
I
don't
want, and
understand why he wants to get. I mean, obviously to have children, but he could do that
yeah.
anyway. They've
Well,
got
yeah,
a whole cloning factory
yeah, there's
there
nothing to
that
explain that.
he could get, the ovums of any woman he wanted because he's, the emperor. He could just say, yeah, that lady, she's, really clever and beautiful. Take that ovum, stick it in there, sort it out, and I've got my baby boy. He doesn't have to do the whole marriage bullshit at all. He can
Yeah, they
have
still
kids if
haven't
he wanted
explained it.
to. Yeah, there's no
Yeah,
need for. I mean, especially with the technology they've got, he doesn't need to physically have sex with a woman. They've got all the technology there. They've got babies growing in the bloody yard. So it's not a necessary function. They don't need women for anything, really. Yeah.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I don't know
I
what's
don't
going on
know.
really.
No.
So I'm not quite sure what anyone's
Still
motivation
looks
is,
great.
really.
Production's
Yeah,
fantastic and stuff like that. But yeah, we'll see what
yeah,
happens next time. Obviously it's ramping up with the political sort of intrigue with Day, Dusk, and Dawn, and we'll see how that goes. That's quite interesting. Um,
mm,
and yeah, I don't know about these Mentallics. I didn't like them. They're too um, deceitful. The deceit going on there.
yeah,
And also someone sort of violating your mind like that. Fucking stay out of my mind. Bit of June there for
yeah.
you. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if they're supposed to be good guys or not. I don't think there are any good
Mm,
guys really. Probably Gale
no.
or Salvo, but like, I mean,
Yeah.
I
Salva
don't know.
seems decent. Yeah.
It just seems to have muddied up everyone's motivation in this series. So I just don't know what people want anymore. Because it used to be that Harry didn't want to have a war, or no, or
Mm,
rather, the war's going to happen and the Empire's going to fall, but we can minimize it.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. But like now, it's who are these? Now he's been given a physical body. Who the fuck are the Prime Radiants talking to him? Like
Yeah. That's the
Demerzel's,
irritating thing
they're all
about
clearly mental.
Harry. That is the irritating thing because, I mean, you're assuming that he knows more than everybody because of the maths and stuff. But
Yeah,
it just, I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. It's good. I mean, I like him being in it, like because I think he's a really good actor and I like his
Mm,
character. But like, I just at the moment, I just don't know what everyone's supposed to be doing. Like, you
mm.
can't really tell what are they up to. Did they go to Ignis to start a new foundation, or
Well, it
did they
seemed
already
like
start
it.
it and they checking up
Yeah.
on it? How's that going to work?
Well, when
Like,
Gail had the forward sort of premonition, the Mentallics were supposed to be hers. They were Gail's Mentallics. So I don't know how that's going to
mm,
play out. We'll have to wait till next episode and figure that out. But yeah, I know what you're saying. Maybe we should just leave it there then.
yeah, probably. So I mean, so yeah, I'm still enjoying it, but
Yeah,
like it's a bit difficult to kind of look forward
it's a little
because I'm
bit.
not quite
Yeah,
sure what I'm supposed to be looking forward to now, because
yeah.
rather than like, oh, let's see what happens if they find these memories. They seem to be adding a lot more elements each episode, characters and stuff.
Mm,
And it's like, I think we've got enough,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know. I think it's getting a little unwieldy, and especially with stuff added in where characters are a bit
It
shit,
it may
like
be
over
due
Mallow
to
stuff. Like,
it may be due to the actual written bugs that they've had to do it like this, but Because I remember sort of going into the second book and thinking, oh, I don't really care about these people, like Rios, and you know what I mean. I wanted
Mm.
to sort of catch up with what Salva and Gail were doing and Harry and things, and then it wasn't that; it was something else. So they may have been forced to do it because they've got to stay, you know, a little bit towards what's going on in the books. Plus, they've got to do it to a screenplay, which is different.
Yeah,
So,
and
I mean,
that's
I
fine.
think they're
But
doing
like,
a great job on, but like you
yeah,
say, that the characteristics of the people that we knew, um, as in the emperors, are a little bit muddied now. Salva's the same, Girl's the same, Harry's the same, but yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
yeah, it's just just don't really know
I
what
don't
everyone
see I
wants.
don't see I don't see Day being that gullible.
No, no, exactly. He seemed a bit. I mean, he
Yeah.
was a bit weird in other episodes this series. He seemed a bit not really with it, but like this one, he seemed like completely like he didn't know what the fuck he was doing at all. It was
He's
really
bound to
weird.
have had sex with, I mean, how is he? He's like 40 in this or something, isn't he? Or late
Yeah,
30s or like they have concubines, they're banging things left and right. So
I mean, it may be that she's wiped all of their memories. Demerzel's wiped all three of their memories like recently
mm,
because that's he seemed a bit. I'm not going to use the R word, but he seemed a bit backwards. Like a bit like not
yeah,
just not smart at all. So it may be that she's kind of fucked with them
yeah,
in
because he
that
was full
way.
of confidence. I mean, when he took on
Mm,
the assassin, he was enjoying himself. He was,
yeah.
I've got this body, it's ripped, I'm gonna fucking do you up, I'm gonna fuck you up. And he was enjoying himself, even though there was like 4 or 5 people trying to kill him. And he was so
So yeah,
confident in himself, and yet to be sort of flummoxed by fucking a lady just doesn't seem to ring true.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it may be that he died, in that thing, and they didn't save him,
Mm.
and she's brought a new one out, but she's fucked
That
with his
is
head,
interesting.
and he doesn't know, you know,
That would
he
explain
doesn't
it.
know that he's been replaced. Yeah, but like, and no one seems to just really like notice the difference in him because everyone's too
Mm.
scared to say anything, probably. But
Yeah, no, that sounds interesting. Oh,
but
well, we'll
it
see
may be, but
anyway.
they need to, yeah, they need to kind of start telling us a little bit what's going on, because at the
Mm,
moment I honestly just like, where are they going? Why? I don't really know.
yeah,
It's a bit like that to me. It seems a
yeah,
bit open ended. We don't need many more characters.
mm,
Um,
yeah.
but
Okay,
we'll see. But I hope it starts to get a bit more cohesive.
yeah. It probably will. They probably have to shove a load of stuff into just to lay the base of the story because they've got to introduce a bunch of new characters. Well, this is what I'm hoping. I always, like I was a sucker for, you know, uh, Game of Thrones, and even till the end, I was like, oh, maybe
Yeah.
they're going somewhere with it. You know what I mean?
Mm,
I was giving them the benefit of the doubt, and then it turned out it was just shit. So, but
yeah.
I'm always sort of like hoping that they've got a good direction and they're doing this stuff for a reason, and it's going to be very fulfilling when we get the payoff. That's what I always hope for. But I mean, who
Yeah.
knows? We'll just see how it goes, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they have to. I mean, I think they'll have to get a bit better because
Mm,
otherwise they won't get a third series,
yeah,
and then we're
that's
just fucking
true.
stuck with a really good
That's
first
true.
series, a bit of a shitty second one where they've
I mean,
introduced some people who we can identify with a bit more, and then it
yeah,
just goes
yeah.
to shit.
They chuck loads of money at it. I mean, like it looks fantastic. I mean, it is a proper space odyssey. Look, space opera. It looks fantastic, but like you say, the story's a little bit iffy at the moment. But we'll get to it next week.
Mm.
We'll do it next week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fabulous.
All
Yeah,
right
I'm
then.
looking forward to it.
Yeah.
All right,
All
well,
right.
speak to you later then.
All right. See you later,
Cheerio.
man.
Bye.